Hello, welcome to my channel. This is Naveen Moola, Assistant Professor of Physics, Nagarjuna Government College, Nalgonda. We are discussing electromagnetism for BSc 5th semester students, and we are discussing electrostatics. This is 10th video lecture. And in the last video, we have seen the definition of electrostatic potential, and we even calculated electrostatic potential due to a point charge at certain distance from the charge. And in this video, we will see the relation between electrostatic potential V and electric field intensity E. These two are a very important physical quantities regarding to electricity. We need to see the relation between these two variables, E as well as V. And then we will see potential energy in electrostatics, potential energy of a electrostatic field as well as potential energy for system of charges. And we will see there how to define electrostatic potential using potential energy. Actually, we defined electrostatic potential in the last video, but we need to understand electrostatic potential from the view of potential energy. Actually, this is the correct way of defining potential. We'll see that also, and then we'll see energy density in electrostatic field. Before going into our discussion, we'll just remind the definition of electrostatic potential, which we saw in the last video. That is the work done by an external force to bring unit positive charge to a point against the field is the potential at that point. That means V is equal to W by Q naught. Using this, we defined potential. If we just rearrange this equation, we get W is equal to Q naught V. W is equal to Q naught V. In other words, we can set this definition, we can convert like this also. To bring Q naught units of charge to a point where potential is V, the work done is W. The work done is W. In that manner also, we can say. Why I am reminding this? Because using this, we define potential energy. Okay, we'll see that. And more than electrostatic potential, it is a potential difference which is very much having physical significance in electricity. That is why we saw potential energy also. Potential energy is nothing but difference of potentials between two points. At 2 points, the difference of potential is potential difference. Okay, we'll see the relation between E and V. It is our first topic. Okay, here I am trying to derive relation between electric field and electric potential. For that, what I am doing is, let me take a spotlight to show you where I am, about what I am talking. This spotlight will show you. To show the relation between electric field intensity and electric potential, what I considered is, at a point A, electric field E, in the electric field E, point A is there, and I want to move Q naught charge from A to B. From A to B, I just want to move Q naught charge. Okay, for that, what I did is, this is electric field. What I am doing is, I am not A to B, I am bringing B to A. B to A, I am bringing a point charge Q naught. At point A, the force on charge Q naught is Q naught E. We are moving that charge against electric field. So we need to apply external force in the opposite direction. So external force is equal to minus F. So F is equal to Q naught E. How F is equal to Q naught E? As per the definition of electric field intensity, E is equal to F by Q naught. So F is equal to Q naught E. This is a known formula for us. So this is a force on charge Q naught. We are trying to move against the field. So this negative sign came into picture, and the work done to move Q naught between B and A is, we need to calculate that. For that, what I considered is, I considered a small infinitesimal element dr. We discussed it earlier also. In many cases, the electric field may not be uniform, or for generalized conditions, what we do is, the shape may not be symmetric. That is why for generalized situations, we always consider an infinitesimal element, and we calculate the required physical quantity for that infinitesimal element, and then we will integrate over the limits at which we need to apply that physical quantity. Here the physical quantity which we are going to derive is work, and we need to calculate the work to move charge Q naught from B to A. For that, what I am trying to do is, I considered an infinitesimal element dr. By this, to move a distance of dr, work done is equals force dot product, this one dr. So okay, I consider this. In the place of F external, I substituted minus Q naught E, which we discussed just now. So dW is equal to minus Q naught E bar dot dr bar. I brought this Q naught here. dW by Q naught is equal to minus E bar dot dr bar. What is dW by Q naught? It is the work done to move Q naught charge dW. dW is the work done to move Q naught charge by an infinitesimal distance. Q naught is the charge. dW by Q naught means the work done to move unit positive charge over that distance. This gives the potential difference between the ends of that infinitesimal distance. That infinitesimal distance, the potential difference between these 2 points is given by dW by Q naught as per the definition of potential. So instead of dW by Q naught, what I substitute is dV is equals minus E bar dot dr bar. You take this one. This I will use this relation in different places. That is why I gave number 1 for this equation. We get dV is equal to minus E bar dot dr bar. To get entire potential difference between point A and B, we need to integrate on both sides between B to A. I did that one. Integral B to A dV is equals minus integral B to A E bar dot dr bar. The potential difference between 2 points at A and B is delta V is equals VA minus VB is equals negative integral of B to A E bar dot dr bar. If we generalize, suppose this point B is at a farther distance, let's say at infinite, what happens? VB becomes 0. VB becomes 0. Then potential V is equals, for generalized situation, my negative integral of E bar dot dr bar. This is the relation between potential V and the electric field E in that integral form. Okay, integral, this is the relation between V and E in integral form. Now again, I take this dW by Q naught is equal minus E bar dot d bar, that is written as dV is equal to minus E bar dot d bar. I am again considering that. Okay, I am considering that. Then I say point A and B, if the coordinates of point A and B are, they are at such a distance, the coordinates of A are x, y, z, and coordinates of B are x plus dx, y plus dy, z plus dz. Let us consider like this. Then what is this position vector? It is changed by dx, dy, dz. In vector form, it is dxi bar plus dyj bar plus dz k bar. Okay, I am using that notation here. if position the coordinates of A and B are these, then dV is equal, it can be written as dou V by dou X dx plus dou V by dou Y dy plus dou V by dou Z dz. I'm dividing it into further dou V by dou X I cap plus dou V by dou Y, it is actually Y, dou V by dou Y j cap plus dou V by dou Z k cap, and this one is dx I cap plus dy j cap plus dz k cap. This is again, if we take V outside, it becomes del dou by dou X I cap plus dou by dou Y j cap plus dou by dou Z k cap of V. That is known as gradient, because V is potential. Potential is a scalar. If we apply this del operator on a scalar, we call it as gradient. Gradient of potential, grad V. We studied about this in vectors. Okay, we are applying a del operator on scalar V. So it can be, this entire vector can be written as gradient of V dot. This one is dxi bar plus dyj bar plus dzk bar. That is the position vector between A and B. Okay, it is denoted by dr bar. Dr bar. Okay, now this is dV. I consider dV, and it can be written as gradient V of dr bar. I'm substituting this in this equation. Here, instead of dV, I'm writing gradient of V dr bar. What happens? Dr bar on both sides. So we can say E bar is equals minus grad V. Or in other words, in symbolic form, it is E is equals minus del V. It is the relation between electric field intensity E and potential V in differential form. Earlier one is integral form. Which one? This one. This one is integral form. V is equals negative integral of E dr. Both are one and same. This one is differential form. E is equals minus del V. Electric field intensity is the negative gradient of potential energy. Electric field intensity is the negative gradient of potential energy. This is what we derive in the derivation. Just now we gone through about that. The only thing is we must understand that the work done is per bring a unit positive charge is equal potential. We just use that concept to derive the relation between V and E. Okay, next we will move to next topic, that is potential energy of system of charges. Okay, it is an interesting topic. Actually, we need to start our discussion at potential energy only to discuss about the electrostatic potential. We'll see how. We know about gravitational potential energy. If I bring an object, if I bring an object here, the potential energy is, suppose it is at a distance of h from the ground, mgh, small h. If I move that object from here to at certain heights, it is at certain height capital H. Now the potential energy becomes mg capital H. Mg capital H is more when compared to mg small h. This is potential energy. We studied about this in our gravitation, in our mechanics. Okay, the work done to move an object against gravitational force from one point to some other point resides in that object in the form of potential energy. In the form of potential energy. Why the potential energy of the object which is at certain height is more? Because we did some work against the gravitational potential. Against the gravitational potential, gravitational attraction, we did some work. That work is storing in the form of potential energy. That is gravitational potential. Exactly similar to that case, here also in electricity, we are moving a charge against the field by certain distance. To move that, we need to do some work. That work is residing in the form of electrostatic potential energy. In other words, in an electrostatic field, if we want to place a charge at a particular point, we need to do some work. That work is electrostatic potential at that point. at that point. Similarly, similar to gravitational potential at in gravitation, in mechanics, here we see in gravitation, we see gravitational potential. Similar to that, here we see electrostatic potential. We will see how to define electrostatic potential using electrostatic potential energy later. But now we need to understand this definition, and we need to derive potential energy for a system of charges. Potential energy for a system of charges. Let me explain like this. Suppose here is a space, empty space, nothing is there. No charge is there in this space. I just want to bring a charge Q1 to here. I'm not doing any work against any field because there is no field. So here no point of doing work against the field. So no point of question of potential energy, zero, no problem. But when I brought Q1 charge to this space, it is creating a field around that charge. And now I just want to bring a charge from this place to this field. Suppose I just want to bring charge to this point. Charge to this point, I call this as A. To this point A, I just want to bring another charge Q2. Now it is not that much simple as we brought Q1, because there is an established electric field due to Q1. Now I just need to do work against the field established by Q1. So to bring Q2 charge here, I need to do some work. That work is the potential energy of this system of charges. This is what about potential energy. Now using this, we'll derive potential energy Okay. For the example which we discussed now about potential energy, to define potential energy, we will calculate potential. Using that example, we will calculate potential energy of system of charges. For that, what I am doing is, here a charge Q1 is there at point A, and at point B another charge Q2 is there. I just wanted to move this Q2 charge to this point C. I just wanted to calculate the work done to move this Q2 charge from point B to C. Using that, we'll calculate the potential energy of this system. Okay. The distance between Q1 and Q2 is R1, and the distance between A and C is R2. We know from Coulomb's law, the force of attraction or repulsion between the charges Q1 and Q2 is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R square. This is R, now I am considering R, this as R. So 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R square. So to calculate work done, what I am doing is integral F dot dr. F is this force. B to C, I am moving, anyhow I am moving along the field from B to C. So F dot dr. I just wanted to calculate only the work done to move from B to C. So I am considering I am giving a limits as R1 here and R2 here. Integral R1 to R2 F dot dr. Okay, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Suppose R is the distance from here to here, dr elements. This dr element, the distance of this dr element is R. So I am considering force here, not the force at between A and B. The force acting here, R is variable. Between B and C, it is varying. I am considering this infinitesimal distance dr. It is at a distance of R from Q1. So here the force is this one, and if we calculate the work done to move Q0 charge over a distance dr, we get F dot dr, but I just wanted to move the entire work. So I integrated from R1 distance to R2 distance. I substituted F, integral R1 to R2. In place of F, I substituted 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R square dr. Q1 Q2 by 4 pi epsilon naught, it is constant. I brought forward, and integral 1 by R square is minus 1 by R to the power of minus 2, R to the power of minus 2 plus 1 by minus 2 plus 1. So it is minus 1 by R between the limits R1 and R2. So I am substituting upper limit and lower limits, and this negative sign, I take care of the negative sign, because minus 1 by R2 minus of minus 1 by R1. So I get 1 by R1 minus 1 by R2 after rearranging. This is the work done. This work done to move charge from B to C is residing as the potential energy of this system. That system. If R2 is equal to infinite, that means this point C is at infinite distance. Infinite means very larger distance, that there is no effect of this electric field at that point out of the field of this field. Then what happens? This one becomes 0, and it becomes Q1 Q2 by 4 pi epsilon naught R1. That is the potential energy of these two charges. You imagine the energy of this system. I am moving this point B to, why I am considering infinite, because if we want to remove this charge beyond the scope of Q1, that is infinite. What is the work we need to do? We need to overcome the attraction of this attraction or repulsion of these two charges. That means we need to do work so as to it equals its potential energy in the reverse side. So if we consider infinity, the work done is the potential energy when they are residing here. So potential energy of these two charges U of R is equals 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R. This is the potential energy of 2 point charges. When 2 point charges Q1 Q2 are separated by a distance R, here I generalized, this is R1, but I generalized and I used the term R. Okay, if Q1 Q2 are two charges separated by a distance R, the potential energy of that system U of R is equals 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R. We know potential is a scalar, potential energy is also a scalar. So instead of Q1 Q2, these two charges, if we have three charges, Q1, Q2 and Q3. If we have three charges like this, what is the potential energy of the system? In that time, we need to know the distance between Q1 and Q2. I call this as R12. You follow the sign notation. You remember the sign notation. R12 is the distance between two charges Q1 and R1. Sorry. R12 is the distance between Q1 and Q2. R13 is the distance between Q1 and Q3. R23 is the distance between Q2 and Q3. If so, the potential energy of this entire system is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by the distance between them plus Q2 Q3 by the distance between these two charges R23, Q1 Q3 by R13. That is the system of n charges. Even you have n charges also, we can calculate the system, the total energy of the system like this. Okay. Okay. Now Similarly, for n point charges, we will find the system of the potential energy of the system of charges. This is about potential energy of system of charges, electrostatic potential energy. We need to understand potential from this potential energy. How? You see here, for two point charges, the potential energy is equal 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by r. If we see, if we can write this in two forms, that is u is equal, I can write like this, u potential energy is equal potential energy is equal, one second, okay, we can write this potential energy of two system of charges like this one or this one. U is equals q1 v12. Here the notation is q1 is a charge, v12 is potential at q1 due to q2. Potential at q1 due to q2. What is this? We will see. You see, this is point q1. Where the mouse is there, mouse pointer is there, it is a point q1. If q2 is a charge, its field here, its potential here is, we know, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q2 by r. The potential due to second charge at first one, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q2 by r, or the potential due to first charge at point B is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 by r. That is what I wrote here. Okay. Here, the potential q1, if we consider q1, if we consider q1 into 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q2 by r, that means q1 into potential at q1 due to q2, or q2 into potential at q2 due to q1. We can write the potential energy like this. Using these two, we define potential like this: u by q1. v12 is u by q1. That is, the potential energy per unit charge at a point is potential at that point. v12, what is v12? Potential at 1 due to 2. There are only two charges. Potential at 1 due to 2. If you bring q this side, what happens? U by q1. U by q1 means potential energy per unit charge. Potential at energy per unit charge is potential at that point. Potential at that point. Similarly here also, potential energy per unit charge is potential at that point. This is actually the primitive definition of electrostatic potential. Using this, we come across the potential definition which we learned earlier. Potential energy is equal, definition of potential is, potential energy is equal, electrostatic potential at a point is the potential energy per unit charge kept at that point. Okay, this is about potential energy of system of charges. That is what I wrote here. The electrostatic potential energy per unit charge is the potential at that point. Okay, this is about potential energy. Now we will see the next topic, that is energy density in electrostatic field. It is very, very important. If a point charges are there, or even a continuous charge distribution is there, in both the cases, we need to calculate energy density. We need to calculate total potential energy as well as energy density. For that, what I am doing is, I am considering three charges, Q1, Q2, Q3. Initially, let us assume these three charges are not there. It is just space. Q1, Q2, Q3 charges are in our hand. We need to arrange these three charges as shown in the figure, Q1, Q2, Q3. Okay, for that what I did is, I am imagining I am bringing At a time we cannot, I am not throwing these three charges like that. I am bringing Q1 charge here. Then after I am bringing Q2 charge. Then after I will bring point Q3 charge at the positions where we want to fix. These points are fixed first. We need to bring to that point. Okay. If we calculate the total work to do this process, it is a potential energy of that point. We are considering three charges. Later on, we will generalize it for n charges. Okay, this is my intention. Okay, first I am bringing here, it is space, no charge or no field is there here. Now I am bringing Q1 charge. As there is no field, there is no work against the field. So the work done to bring a Q1 charge here is 0. Look at my spotlight. It is 0. To bring a Q1 charge, the work done is 0. Now Q1 is there. Now I need to bring a Q2 charge to this position. Okay, for that, to bring Q2 charge, I need to do work against the field established by Q1. Against the field established by Q1. So, what is the field established by Q1 at here? I am naming it as potential at this point due to Q1. Potential at point 2 due to 1. That is why I named it as V21. 21. Understand this notation. 21 means potential at 2 due to 1. Potential at 2 due to 1 is V21. At this position, I need to bring Q2 charge. So the work done is equals Q2 V2 1. The work done is equals Q2 V2 1. Using electrostatic potential definition, we know the work done is equal charge into potential. Charge into potential at that point. I am using that. I am using that definition. The potential at this point is V21. V21. Q3 is not there. Remember that only Q1 is there. So due to this charge, the potential at here is V21. Then the charge I am bringing is Q2. So the work done is Q2 V21. Okay. Now Q1 is present and Q2 is present. Into this field, I need to bring third charge, that is Q3. That means I need to do work against the field established by Q1 as well as the field established by Q2. Here at point 3, potential is both due to Q1 as well as Q2. Potential at 3 due to 1 is V31. Potential at 3 due to 2 is V32. Total potential is, as potential is scalar, simply we can add up. So total potential at point 3 is V31 plus V32. The charge what I am bringing is Q3. So the work done against the field is Q3, V31 plus V32. This is the total work to arrange these 3 point charges. So I calculated the total work. I am keeping it aside. Now we may have a thought, as if the point charge which we brought earlier is a bigger one. It may be maybe we need to do more work. Out of the 3 charges, which is lowest one, if we bring that one earlier to this one, that may influence this work calculation. So what I am doing is I am considering the process in reverse order, because we consider a case. In some other case, it may affect some more factors. To nullify that, to understand that, and to generalize this energy equation, what I am doing is, now I am doing in reverse order. That means earlier I brought Q1 1, then 2, then 3. Now I will bring 3, then 2, then 1. Now again I am calculating work. To bring Q3 charge 0. Q3 charge 0. Then Q2. Q2 to bring Q2 charge, already Q3 is there. So the potential at 2 due to 3 is V23. V23. Potential at 2 due to 3 multiplied by second charge Q2. So this is the work done. Already Q3 and Q2 are there. Now I need to bring Q1. Here the potential is V12 due to second charge, V13. So V12 plus V13. I need to multiply it with Q1. So I got this work. These both are same because whatever may be the order you use, at the end, these are the position of these three charges. That means at the end, the potential energy of the system must be same. In first case or second case, the final result is they are in the same order. The arrangement is same at the final. So the potential energy of this arrangement is same. So this work as well as this work, both are same. So I am adding them and I am taking the average. I am taking the average. This is the work done to arrange those three charges. That is W is equals 1/2 Q1 V1 plus Q2 V2 plus Q3 V3. This is the potential energy of system of charges. Okay, if n charges are there, instead of 3 charges, if n charges are there also, we can generalize this equation like this. W is equal to 1/2 summation I is equal to 1 to n, sigma I is equal to 1 to n Qi Vi. This is potential energy when point charges are there. But in practical conditions, we see always continuous charge distribution. You remember this equation, W is equal to 1/2 sigma I is equal to 1 to n Qi Vi when point charges are there. But in practical situations, what we see continuous charge distribution. Charge distribution over a length, charge distribution over area, charge distribution over a volume. We saw in the Gauss law applications. Similar cases are for our practical purposes. So we convert this equation. Instead of using sigma summation, we use integral. Okay, what I did is, if linear charge distribution is there, you know lambda is equal to Q by L, charge per unit length. So what happens? W is equal to 1/2 integral lambda V dl. You see lambda Q by L. L, this integral dl, L cancels. Again we get this one only. 1/2 is same. Again we get this one. Similarly, for surface charge distribution, here 1/2 is not visible. Okay, W is equal to 1/2 surface integral of sigma V ds. For volume integral of rho V d tau. Actually, we used dV earlier. Now I am using d tau because it creates confusion, because V is potential. Now we are discussing about potential. If again we use even small letters, capital letters also, it gives some confusion. That is why what I am using is tau for volume. Remember that notation while discussing this. Volume is tau. Okay, this is the potential energy. Now we will using this, we will calculate energy stored in energy stored in an electrostatic field. We will see that also. For that, what I am considering is this. For generalized condition, if we consider volumetric charge distribution, it gives generalized one. So I am considering potential energy W is equals of volume integral of tau rho V dot tau here. Okay, don't get confused. This is what we derive. Instead of Q, I am writing rho dV. Rho is equal to Q by V. We know that. Rho integral rho dV. We are writing rho V, rho dot tau. Here, earlier case rho dV. Here rho dot tau. So this one and this one are both one and same. Okay. Now you see. Okay, this is the potential energy we calculated. We need not to denote with W always. We can write here U also. Potential energy, electrostatic potential energy can be denoted with capital U. Okay, I forgot to write capital U here. Potential energy U is equals of nothing problem. You can write W also. 1/2 volume integral of rho V d tau. Here we know differential form of Gauss law. Del dot D is equal to rho. Other day we discussed differential form of Gauss law. Del dot D is equal to rho. So in the place of rho, I am writing del dot D. 1/2 volume integral of del dot D V d tau. Okay, I am giving a equation number 1. Now what I am doing is, from vector identity, I am considering del dot V d bar. V is potential, D bar is we say displacement electric field vector or electric flux density. We'll discuss about this later in third chapter, but you consider it as a vector. The relation between D and E, electric field intensity, is D is equal to epsilon naught E. We discussed it when Gauss law, you remember that one, D is equal to epsilon naught E. I am considering del dot V D bar. V is scalar, D bar is vector. Using vector identity, we can write it as V of, you see, del bar is vector, D bar is vector, V is scalar. So it can be written as V scalar, vector, vector. So dot product, V of del dot D plus, remember like this. I am bringing V to prior to this one. In the next term, I am bringing D prior to this one. D bar dots. Now V is scalar. To apply del V. Del V. On a scalar, del is operated like this, gradient, del V. Okay. Using this, if we rearrange this, del dot D V, this one is equals del dot VD minus D bar dot del V. Okay. Here in our equation, potential energy equation, we have del dot D of V. So to get del dot D of V, we did this. Okay. Now I will substitute this in our equation. Our equation W is equal to of, now instead of del dot D of V, we get two terms. Volume integral of del dot VD d tau minus volume integral of D dot del V d tau. Now I am using Gauss divergence theorem. Gauss divergence theorem of vectors converts volume integral into surface integral. Volume integral into surface integral. What is Gauss divergence theorem? Gauss divergence theorem is surface integral of A bar is, if A bar is a vector, surface integral of A bar ds is equal to volume integral of, understand this as volume integral of del dot A dV, del dot A dV. This is Gauss divergence theorem. Here we have, okay, here we have volume integral of del dot VD d tau. Volume integral of del dot VD d tau. So it can be written as surface integral of VD ds. Using Gauss divergence theorem, we can write this as surface integral of VD ds. This one is same. Surface integral of V d bar ds, it becomes 0 because it is surface integral over a closed surface. We can give 2-3 reasons for this, as V is potential is inversely proportional to R, D is electric field vector E, D is equal to epsilon naught E, E is inversely proportional to R square. It is very, very low value. We can neglect that, or in other words, we can, the surface integral over a closed surface of VD bar is equals 0. Just take it for granted. Now, then what happens? W is equal to, only this term remains, minus of volume integral of D bar dot del V. We know, just now we saw the relation between electric field intensity and potential as E is equal to minus del V. So instead of del V, I can write minus E. E is equal to minus del V. From this, I can write minus E here. Negative sign and negative sign cancels. We get 1/2 volume integral of, instead of del V, I wrote E bar. Instead of D bar, I wrote epsilon naught E bar. D bar is equal to epsilon naught E bar. This is the relation between D bar and E bar. Then we get potential energy U. Here I did it with you. Potential energy U is equals 1/2 volume integral of epsilon naught E square d tau. That is, for electric field E, we are calculating potential energy. In earlier case, we calculated potential energy for point charges. Now, for a electric field E, we are calculating potential. For an electrostatic field, the potential energy is 1/2 volume integral of epsilon naught E square d tau. Okay. If potential energy, this one, what is energy density? Energy density is equal to energy by volume. So we need to divide with volume. Volume is volume integral of d tau. Then what is energy density? U is equals of epsilon naught E square. Energy by volume. So of volume integral of d tau is volume. So I am dividing it with volume. U by volume gives energy density. I am denoting potential energy as capital U, energy density with a small u. Okay, small u is equals 1 by 2 epsilon naught E square. This is energy density. We have a small problem here using a vector notation and all these things to calculate energy density. It is an important topic, and that is why I am doing. We will derive this charge. This is generalized condition. We considered volume charge density, so it can be used anywhere. So, but to overcome this difficulty, we will try to derive energy density in some other words, in some other form also. We'll calculate energy. This is the same as earlier discussion, but in other approach, we are deriving energy density. For that, what I am doing is I am considering a capacitor. Between this capacitor and electrostatic field, E is developed. We calculated E is equal to sigma by epsilon naught. We know that using the electric field intensity from a infrared sheet of charge, infrared sheet of conductor, we derived that sigma by 2 epsilon naught from minus sigma by 2 epsilon naught minus sigma by 2 epsilon naught. So the electric field becomes sigma by epsilon naught in between these two plates. E is equal to sigma by epsilon. I am considering this field. I will try to calculate electric field density in this field. For that, I am considering the second form of work energy we calculated. For continuous charge distribution, we saw this one. W is equal to 1 by 2 surface integral of sigma V ds. I am using this one here. Surface charge density sigma. Okay. Potential difference between plates, as per the definition of potential, E is equal to V by, this is E, V is equal to ED. How we are writing this? We are using the relation between V and E. What is that dV is equal to, E is equal to minus del V. We will write here. We derive the relation between E and V potential. E is equal to minus del V in 3 dimension. In 1 dimension, we can write this as E is equal to minus dou V by the dimension which we consider, dou V by dou X. What is del V? Minus dou V by dou X minus dou V by dou Y minus dou V by dou Z. In 3 dimension, del V. But single dimension, minus dou V by dou X. Minus dou V means potential difference. You can write this like this also. Potential difference by the distance between those 2 points. Where we are calculating potential difference, there will be a distance between those 2 points. That is V by, you see, dV, V, potential difference, by the distance D. So as we calculate distance, we may neglect this minus. So it becomes V is equal to E into D. I used this here. That is why I use V is equal to ED. I am writing this V is equal to ED. I am writing this V is equal to ED in this V place. We get W is equal to of surface integral of sigma ED ds. We know E is equal to sigma by epsilon naught for a capacitor. So I am substituting sigma by epsilon naught also. I get potential energy is equal to half surface integral of sigma into sigma by epsilon naught d into ds. Okay, sigma square d by epsilon naught. There is no change with surface integral. The only thing is surface integral over ds is entire surface area. So potential energy is equal to half sigma square by epsilon naught ds. D is the distance between 2 points. D is the distance between these 2 plates. A is the area of cross section. If we multiply area of cross section with distance, we get volume. So we can say D into S as volume. D into S as volume. Okay. Then what we get, if we say this as volume, if you bring volume this side, potential energy by volume gives energy density, small u, energy density. That is sigma square by 2 epsilon naught. We get the energy density is sigma square by 2 epsilon naught. I am multiplying numerator and denominator by epsilon naught with the epsilon naught. We get of sigma square by epsilon naught square, epsilon naught of epsilon naught square, sigma by epsilon naught whole square. As sigma by epsilon naught E, we get energy density as of epsilon naught E square. This is other way of deriving energy density. Same energy density. What we arrived at? We arrived at of epsilon naught E square for a capacitor. Even when we consider the generalized case of a uniform volume charge density, then also we got energy density as U is equals of epsilon naught E square. You can approach any of the case for the derivation. This is okay. This is about electrostatic potential and potential energy. Okay. In this video, we discussed the relation between electric field intensity and electrostatic potential. E is equal minus del V or V is equal minus integral EDR, both integral form as well as differential form. We derived that, and then we saw the definition of electrostatic potential energy. For a system of charges, what is the electrostatic potential energy? The relation between potential energy and potential, we define potential in terms of potential energy. That is, the potential energy per unit charge at a point is potential at that point. We defined that, and even we calculated electrostatic potential energy and energy density for different cases, and we generalized the energy density as of epsilon naught E square. Thank you.